Hello again. So before continues with all creating interactive terrain, uh, I have faced one of the issues. So this might be not applying to you, and you can actually skip this lesson. But let's try. First of all, let's try to talk about it, and then if it's applied to you, I would strongly advise to watch this tutorial, well, this part of tutorial before continues. So because we'll be playing with and we will be interacting with terrain layers by just taking the index. So each layer has each terrain has own layers in a certain order, and we'll be actually accessing them by just passing that number in array. So we want to use constant numbers. This is not applying to you for two reasons. It might be you are using one big terrain, and that's mean that you can actually use that's mean you can actually interact with any three layers, like 0 is a base, half grass, half dirt, it's layer 6 maybe in your case, and full dirt, maybe layer, it's number 8. So you can actually choose any of them. In my case, because I'm working in a team, then I start developing this interactive in terrain. What I end up is that my colleague, when he was drawing this road, we haven't not made any agreements or rules or anything, like we didn't know how to actually this will be affecting in the future. So at the moment what we're having is, let's take this terrain. It has loads of terrains. Loads of layers, and if I want to use 0, 1, and 3 spaces, so for my own code for in each terrain, I need to move these layers down or up, and if you can see, it doesn't affect, because when my colleague made a paint, the splat map took the index and recorded how much of each layer is painted in that location. So that's mean when I swapping in places, if I can swap back, of course, yeah. So when I'm if I swap the places of the layers, I lose the road paint. So what I decided to do is to actually write a quick script, which one can actually read what is drawn, push that layers in another location, and leave and build any amount of layers I need for interactions. So if you have a big massive one terrain for whole your map, that is not applicable for you. Can you just use any numbers of your layers? Another thing is it's not applied to you if you haven't drawn anything and you're starting from here. So that's as well not applying to you, and you can actually skip this lesson, or maybe you're just looking for a basic knowledge. I've tried to be as quick as I can in this one. You see here we have a road, and the base layer I think is this one. So it's different from this terrain and different from here, when this is the road base layer color is here. So it's not inconsistent. Why it is not inconsistent? First of all, most of the times you're playing around with colors. You're playing with the terrain layers. You're trying to match and looking for best solutions. We have quite a few amount of reviews was going on, and one of first version of the road doesn't apply, so we went for a second version of the road, and then we finally come up with a third version of the road. So by doing this, we was building these layers, and the layer is really easy to build. Like if I take this one, and this layer, yes, is only exist here. And if we select, if you select this layer, sorry, this terrain, it has even more. Okay, let's select something else. Let's select this layer. Yeah, this layer, this terrain, sorry, this terrain doesn't have this dirt layer. So what you're doing is, most of the times what's happening is when the developer is using brush, and by painting that into that terrain, oh, that's even getting error. So when we painting in that terrain, it automatically creates that layer following number in array, and records amount in the splat mesh where it is applied. And later on, because we want something to do, we add another layer, let's say grass blue, yes, and we want to interact with this one. So this, by our script, which one we're developing, which one is the purpose of this all tutorial, we need this blue grass, assuming we need this blue grass to be a second in the list, ID 1, yes, then we just swap. Well, it would be great if that layer, which one we painted, just moved into the following space, leaving blue grass here. That would be great. That we're trying to achieve now. I just will write a code. We'll read the terrain, wherever is used in the map. We'll keep them after we add all the layers we need for interaction. So stay tuned. Let's do it. Oh yeah. First of all, let's delete. By the way, if you delete the layers, it will remove from a map. Undo Control Z doesn't return any changes what you made for alpha map or splat map. I mostly try to call it as alpha map, as we will be approaching as this name in the coding. And let's delete here. Let's remove all this. Okay, and then we can actually go to this layer. I think so. Yeah, we have. Oh yeah, we just removed. Can we go here? Yeah, well, I can't remove. I would like to remove this one is not used. This one is not used. This one is not. No, this one is not used. This is used. Sometimes used not, and this one I just painted, so I definitely can delete. But if I delete this one, the road which one is drawn here is using this, and this layers, and sometimes this one. So 4 layers is used to draw the road. If I delete this 3 before the road, all this will be slide up, and when it's sliding up, I will lose all the data. They will be mixed up. So we don't want that to do it. Of course, I could just use this ones, any spare places of layers for my own use. But I've been in one of the corners. I believe this corner, which one, the base color of the road is exactly number 1, which one we're planning to use for our terrain. Cool. So we start by creating a script. Let's create a script. Terrain. I call it terrain layer reorganizer. Sorry for my spelling. Reorganizing. Reorganizer. That's what. Terrain layer reorganizer. Boom. So let's do a small plan in on a paint. So we can actually 1 second. So we can actually fully understand first of all what we're trying to achieve and what are we going for. So alpha map, I'll put in green. has all the pixels as we discussed in the previous lesson. So we have all the pixels. Yep. So we ignore the level layer 0. We ignore that one because the layer 0, first of all, it's a base color. To change that one, it's easy to do. Actually, I already did it. We'll start using this grassy one. It's to me it looks really great with, especially if we go which one corner it is. I think this one now. Especially if you look into it next to the grass, and we don't have any grass here anymore. Nice, but we have it here. So it's kind of matching colors of the grass and grass terrain color, so it's much better visual. It's a visual. It looks much better, put it this way. Yeah. So going back, so we ignore a layer 0. So we read every single pixel in alpha map. Yes. And if we found anything recorded, any value, if we found any pixel which one has any layer number which has number greater than 0, we save that layer. So let's assume we give some example. So layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer ... and layer 9. Yeah, layer 9 is, we're assuming, is used on a map to draw that pixel, and the value is 0.7. And then layer 10 is used to draw in the same pixel, I don't know, maybe 0.1. And we have another layer for stones. So we have base, we have a bit dirt, we have a stone layer, and we're painting the road, creating it like this. And we have another 0.2, and that adds up to 1. Yeah, it's not should to adapt, but you get idea. So what the script should to do is actually to read all this alpha map pixel by pixel, and if any layer in that pixel have value greater than 0, we take that chunk and we save it. Then we create another new alpha map. We create a new alpha map with the same value of it. So new alpha map would be another side, let's say. So L0. So we just transfer that one straight away. Next, we insert our layers. We insert layer 1. We insert layer 2 and layer 3. Actually, I was looking in all layers I have, and I decided to use layer 1 and 0 as one layer. It will be grass, and there's a bit flowers in the grass, so I'll treat them as one layer. Then I have half dirt, half grass layer, and then I have fully dirt layer. Let's try to show you them. Actually, I actually can show you. So go here, layers, add new layer, and this will be the grass flowers. Let's do this one. Oh, how are you? Grass came back. So you see, this is a grass and grass with flowers. But to actually merge them, we need to brush strength less. We need to like this one, and maybe like, just paint a bit. Just get mixed up. Maybe want some brush rotation, jitter, brush spacing, no spacing, no need, brush size, and we want the jitter, so it's going bigger, smaller, and so on, so on, so on. And that's how you can create a pattern. Can I go back? No. By the way, if you have a question what tool I'm using, it's called Train Toolbox. It's coming from, to install that one you need to go Windows, Package Manager, find Terrain Tools, install that package, and you can actually download asset samples from Asset Store as well. So they give more brushes, they give more terrain examples as well. So it's a really great terrain tool made by Unity themselves. To get that one, you just go in a package manager. Don't forget to show preview packages as well. I think, yeah, it's in preview yet, still in preview. So to see that one, you need to click show preview packages. It's not fully released, but I haven't faced any problems with that tool. So let's paint it this one back. Oh, strength. Yeah. To be sure, yeah, let's be sure. Rotation back, size is a bit too much, so 100 is more than enough. So yeah, cool. And I have this flower thing, but we'll treat it as, I'll treat one. I'll treat that one flower and grass layers as one. Then, oh yeah, I wanted to show you that one. Yes. So another one. Yeah, that's one. So I won't change brush strength to actually give you a full visualization. Yeah. So it's the same grass, but it's a grass and dirt mixture. And then we have another layer. Just minimize this one a bit more. And then this is a full dirt. So I will be playing between three values. The first value is the grass, alongside with the grass and flowers. Then we will be passing, then the people will be stepping on it and walking more and more time. It'll become grass slash dirt. And finally it becomes full dirt. Of course, this looks terrible now when we just drop the circles in the middle of nowhere. We don't have any transitions between these two layers, but in the end it will be looking great. So the plan is we'll insert 3 more layers, and then after we inserting 3 more layers, so making 4 in total as one block, we insert any values we found on a alpha map afterwards, and we record them in the same locations on the map where they've been. So the layer 9 becomes layer 5 and the same pixel location. So we should end up really nice terrain where we have 4 first layers inserted by us, and we will just scan all the other layers and we put or organize them after our interaction layers. Okay, then we cleared what we want to achieve now. Let's get into it. Where is it gone? Terrain. Oh yeah, terrain organizer. I'm thinking I already gave too difficult name for it, but I just wanted to be more clear. So we need a list of all. We need a list Yes, we need a list of all terrains. So private list, and we need a terrain terrains is equal new list terrain. So we're creating a list in a memory. So it's dynamic. It's not set what size it will be. This script I'm planning to attach to the parent of all terrains I want to work with. So in a better explanation, let's close this one. In a better explanation, I'll be applying this script to this game object, which one holds all the terrains I need for. Not I need it for, but which one terrains I want to apply, and is exactly just middle part. So the approach I'll be choosing is that we can actually how to say, approach all the childrens in a hierarchy of this game object where we're applying this script. So this .game object is exactly the owner of this script, and again, repeating myself, it will be this game object, and all the kids, it's this. So we need a for loop to get every single child in a hierarchy, and every single time we loop each child, we can just add to the list. To do that one, we need a few things. For int, and we can say child index is equal at 0. Sorry, my child index is equal to 0. Now we need to know how we need to give, how to say, true and false condition. That's the one. We need to give a condition. So we need to, the most obvious condition would be we need to for loop until the last child and index. Sorry, until the last child in hierarchy. So until child index is less than transform. So maybe for clarification, I will put this dot transform dot get child count and its function. So don't forget the brackets. And after condition, if condition is met true, we'll execute the code block, and then we want to increase child index. Then we test. When we test a condition again, we execute, and we'll increase again, and keep so on. So this is give me a absolute, because I should not use this. The compiler is saying, okay, they understand. Compiler is understanding that when you're just saying transform, you meaning of transform of this game object. So putting this in the front is just for you, just maybe for you, or say listeners, not watchers, YouTube watchers, who is watching this. It's just maybe makes more clear to you guys. Okay, so this dot transform get child count. What it does, it's because it applies for this game object. Okay, it will how many childs we have. We have number X, whatever. So we loop, we increase, and what we do. So we're saying, okay, terrains dot add. So we keep adding we'll be adding every single child in a list. To do that one, we're saying, okay, again, this, so this a parent, let's call this one, transform dot get child. And to get child, we need to pass the integer. So we pass child index. And we should to get error. Yes, so what we're doing now is, okay, we have a list, and now we're looping each child. We know how many we have, so we keep looping each time. And every single time we go line by line, we keep adding them into the list. The problem is that we have a list called terrains, and a type of list, what data that this list holds, it's type of terrain. This function, what we just read down, it returns game object. And if you remember from previous lesson, when you have a game object, we can actually access every single item here in Inspector. We have a transform, we have a name, we have a tags, we have terrain. Exactly the object, exactly the component we are looking for. Not terrain collider, not transform, not tag, not name, and not physics things, and so on and so on. So to do that one, we just got a game object. Now we're saying, okay, get me a component. A component type I'm looking for, it's terrain. And its function again. Don't forget brackets. That's it. Now we get a child in a hierarchy. By the index, we're looping it. And when we get this game object of a child, we want only terrain from it. We don't care about the game object itself. We want only terrain. And we actually put here. Okay, cool. What's next? So we have all the kids. Now we need to have two alpha maps. So alpha map. Oh, sorry. It should be private. Float. And from previous lesson, it's a three-dimensional float. Let's call it alpha map, and new alpha map. Doesn't sound good. Okay, new nah, just do it like this. Alpha map new. That sounds better. Okay. Yes, I was covered this one last lesson. You can actually create the same type of variables, giving references just by separating with comma. I like to do that in one line when both variables are they are related to each other. Following what? Okay, let's think what we want to do next. So the next step what we should to do is actually to read the alpha map. So an alpha map, it's a 3D dimensional float. We have a variable called alpha map, which one is as well a 3D dimensional float, and we're saying a map is equal to for beginning. Let's do with only one terrain. And then we expand to go through all the childs. Even though I know we create the list and we gather all the terrains, but for beginning, let's do with only one terrain, and then we expand to do with the whole the map. Okay, so we say terrains at 0. So the first one dot terrain data dot get alpha maps. And we don't want any offset. We don't want to offset anything. We want exactly the point where the alpha map it starts, and it's bottom left corner, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, bottom left corner. Then we need a width and a height. So for a width, we say terrains, the first terrain, terrain data, and alpha map width. So we want a whole map, and we need a height. And of course, if you already guessed, you guessed correct. It's terrain data dot alpha map height. So with this line, we want to get all alpha map for this only this terrain from all the lists we have created. for only testing purpose. As when the code will be working, we can expand for this one. So, and we're saving in 3-dimensional float. Why 3-dimensional float? Please watch a previous video. I was explaining exactly why it's 3D and what data each number is holding. Next, we need to actually add all the layers we have on this terrain. So each terrain can have actually a different numbers of layers. This is one of the issues why we're trying to do. If you look behind this, this layer, an inspector, it does has only one. But if we go to this layer and we look in the layers, we have quite many of them. 2 of them is not used at all. That's cause performance issues. 3 of them is drawn this road in this particular terrain. And we actually want, I know maybe I'm repeating myself, but to clarify one more time, we want to insert 0, 1, 2, and 3 spaces for our purpose, interact with the terrain. Then we want to push all the used layers in its next slots and assign all the pixels already found in terrain, and remove any terrain like this one, which one is not used at all. So it should end up really nice. So and because each layer has a different numbers of each terrain has a different number of layers, we want to get that one. So to get this one, let's create a private list of terrain layers. I can't spell it today. Terrain layers, and we're just saying layers is equal to new list terrain layers. Of course, straight away we can go forward and create another list. Well, let's be a bit lazy. Copy, paste. So we want another layers new. So we will be creating another new layer allocation. So first step, one step at a time. So layers, add, and we can actually access it by saying terrains, the first terrain, dot terrain data, dot terrain layers, and 0, etc. Why do I like add? Is it capital A? Yes, it is. So, but we only adding one terrain. So we have 2 options. First of all, we can actually loop, depending how many layers we have, or we can actually use really nice C# coding. It's called when we have a list, so we can actually add range, if I spell correct. Yes, add range, and instead of passing a member of array, we're passing whole array. And to do that one, you just delete the n index. So add range will take a whole array, which one is terrain layers, and because we're not indicating ID, we're not giving this square brackets, it will take whole array into the list. Okay, that's so far so good. Okay. Yes. So now let's start building a new layers, and the new layers list. If we go back to our incredible, great drawings, I should be not code, I should be a painter. So we know by default straight away the layer 0 is always same in old list and in the new list. Actually, you know what? Let's open one more, because it will be confusing in the end. So something like this. It's not awesome. You can actually use a painting for explaining your coding stuff. And the brushes. So we have layer 0 and we have layer 0, and we know both of them it's old and it's new. So we will know in all the cases the base color it will be same. So straight away in our coding layers dot add. So we need to add the first member, and the first member it will be layers, and it will be 0. So the first member from old layers, you know what, we can actually add here. So by changing variable on a declaration line, so if you change it, you can actually type in control dot enter, and it will change all the variables which one was referenced into the same. So I just type here layers alt control dot then enter, and all the variables in my code, well, it's only a few places at the moment, but when you're coding quite a lot and you need to change variable and you don't want to make any mistakes, you can use this technique. So so we're adding in the new oh, we have too much. So we're adding into new one, so we already passed. Now we have a layer 1 and we have a layer 2, and that was the layer 3. The thing is that we don't want to pass them, because we have own list of layers which one we want. We have own list which one we want to actually insert. And after we do this insertion, only then we want to and only then we want to actually insert this one here, and that's how it should look. And only then if L1 layer 1 was used on the map. If it's not used, we skip it. We ignore that one, and we'll take level 2 layer 2 here, and that's how it looks in the buildings thing so far. So to do that one, we will be inserting next for each. Oh, sorry. For each, I said yes. For each terrain layers layer. Yeah. I will call it TL, terrain layer. We still not have this one. So, following our drawing. Oh my days! I close this one down. Yes. So as I mentioned, just mentioned, we need to insert this list, our list. So it makes sense if we actually make it a public. I said public, no public. Public terrain layer, and let's create it array and called reserved layers. reserve layers, and we want a new terrain layers, and I will be using how much I want to use. So this is a grass, and flowers. So L1 0 will be treated as 1. Then we have half grass, half dirt, and when we have dirt only and dirt with stone, which one I want as well to treat as 1 layer, just mixing between them with some randomization, so it won't be looking so constant. Same dirt, we'll have some stones inside as well. So we have 1 layer here, another layer here, and another layer here. It's just mixture between 2 layers. Cool. So we need to add 1, 2, 3, 4 more. Where's my mouse? So 4 more layers, and we'll be adding them via editor because it's a public variable. So terrains in reserved layers. We want to do a layers new dot add TL. So what this does, it's just fancy for loop with int I is equal 0 and so on so on. So instead of that one, for each, it's for each member in this list. Yeah, for each member of this list, which one type is terrain layers. So we're saying, okay, terrain layers, we give it TL, and for each member of this list, every single loop you become TL. We execute the code, and TL become next member on this list. We execute the code, and TL again becomes a next member of this list, and again we execute the code until it's the last member in this list will be executed. Full code should look like this. It's just more efficient and more readable. If you have only one code to execute, you no need curly braces to do in C#. Okay, so now what we done? We added layer 0 as a first member. Then we inserted our rest layers, and we have, where's my mouse gone? Yep, we have this inserted, this inserted, this inserted, and this inserted. 4 members inserted, and now we currently are on number 5. Yep. Cool. So what's next? We need somehow to track this number. So as just said to you now, we need to find which number in our list, in our array list, which number in an array it's free at the moment to insert another layer. So because maybe you want to add here 5 of new reserved layers, maybe you want to add only 1. In the beginning of this tutorial I was thinking adding just 2 more, but then I looked into all the terrain layers I have, and I saw opportunity to actually insert even more layers. And when the person, NPC or player, will be interacting with the terrain, it will give even better visual effects, doing more random terrains and mixing between them. So to do this, we need a new layer counter, maybe something like this. We will have private int new layer counter. new layer counter. Okay. Next thing. One more thing is, then we'll be adding how to explain this one exactly? So we have this on alpha map, and because we're going from one pixel to another pixel and another pixel and another pixel, so somehow we need let's give it buckets. So if we're adding this as layer 2, goes here, we know which one number, and it goes here, and then we scanning each pixel, and suddenly we come up. Oh, that has a hole there somewhere. Oh, and this one has a hole. Oh, okay. So we come up again another layer 2. We come another pixel, which one is layer 2. So how we need a technique somehow to actually not start adding layer 2 again. So we need to know that layer 2 is already added to our list. To do that, my approach is actually to hold an array of integers. So what I'm doing is actually just I'm creating an array of hints, which one is the same length as all layers, and an array of ints will kind of hold the number. So each time when it's somewhere it goes, like layer 0 goes in layer 0. Layer 1 doesn't go nowhere, and we leave -1. Layer 2 will go into 5, and we write down 5. Next time when we will be running pixel after pixel, where's my mouse gone again? So from one pixel to another pixel, and if we added layer 2 here, and the next one, when we try to add layer 2, we'll check this number. If this number is not -1, that means it's already in the list, and its list number is 5, and so on and so on. So we'll use the integer approach, which one has will hold ID of the location in a sequence in a new list. I hope so I'll explain this one. I hope so I explained this one correctly. Not correctly, how to say. Good enough to understand. If it's not clear, stay a bit more before you're raising question, and look in the code. Maybe code will give you a hint. If not, just watch 2 more times. No, joking. Just type in any comments, and I'll try to dive even in more in depth, explaining a particular location if I didn't explain myself well. Okay, so we'll need private int array, and it will be a layer counter, layer tracker. Let's put this one, layer tracker. And because we know all list, how many we have layers, it's easy just to create it, that one. So we're saying, okay, we can say can delete this one here. So we're saying layer tracker is equal new int, and size of that one will be layers old build count. So we've done the first step. As I mentioned, we created this additional array of integers, the same length as the old list. Following step is to fill all the numbers in that list. So what we do next is actually we put 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 and so on and so on. So we want to put all them as 0 1. For int I is equal 0, as long as I is less than a layer tracker dot length I plus plus. And as I mentioned before, because it's only one code of line, we no need curly braces. We just keep the same line of code. So we're saying layer tracker at I is equal -1. That's it. Next. Okay. Yes. We created a new layer counter. And this one should go somewhere else. I would like to put here. New layer counter is equal to, so think this way. We need to find out which one square we are after. We're copying the base one, and after we adding all the reserved layers. So in this case, it would be 1 because we add 1 bar as a base, and then we just plus reserved layers but length. So yeah, 1 first stands for a base one, which one we done here. We just, no, sorry, this is the first. Here we added the first layer, then we added all the reserved ones, and layer counter, which one tracks which one number we are on a new list. It's 1 plus reserved layers. Cool. What's next in our list to do? So the full next one, it's most challenging part, and we will be now looping okay. So 2 things we need to understand here. This code no need to be efficient in terms of how much milliseconds it takes per frame and so on and so on. It will take a whole lot. The thing is, it will do only one time, and we'll be using this one only for developing purpose. It's only like a tool. It doesn't matter how long it will take to use it. You can imagine it like a blender. You put it to render, you just go for a coffee, coming back, and it's done. Of course, it won't take that long, but what I'm trying to say is, I was thinking about this code, and I couldn't write this more efficient way in one for loop. Instead of that one, I divided in 2 for loops, even though it looks like really similar each other, and maybe I mislooked something, but oh my god, it's working, in the end of the day. Cool. So the first task, what we need to do is actually to find out how many of layers is actually in the map. In another word, we need to find out how many of layers we are cutting off. At the same time, we will be writing down numbers of each left layer's location in the new layers. So layer 2 will be on layer 5 in here, and layer 0 is on layer 0, etc, and so on and so on. That's why. That's this way. So to do that one, we actually need to loop in 3 dimensionals. So for int a is equal 0 as long as a is less than alpha. Okay, terrains 0 dot terrain data dot alpha alpha map width. That's the one. So we go width first, and a plus plus. Now we want to another for loop for each width. We're going to int b is equal 0 as long as b is less than terrain of 0 oh my gosh, terrains lower t. Terrain data dot alpha height b plus plus, and then we loop for each layer we have at that location. So for int c is equal 0 as long as c is less than layers old dot count c plus plus. So what it does, it will go in alpha map from one pixel to another pixel in width and height. So that's why it's double looped, and each pixel will have this list of all arrays and its floats, and that's each layer will hold on the value how much it does have. Okay, wrong button. Okay, so we're looping that one, and what we exactly looking for, and what we, oh yeah, nearly forgot it. We ignore the layer 0. We start from layer 1. The reason is because we just copied the layer 1 directly into, the layer 0 would copy to the new list of the layers, place 0. And that's why we just start looking from layer 1. Which one is the second member in the list? And what we are looking is condition is if alpha map, what we copied here for that terrain, at location A and B, and layer C number is value greater than 0. So that pixel, no, not pixel, that layer is painted in our map. What we need to do? Actually, I'm thinking a bit efficient way. If it's greater than 0, and we give it 2 conditions. Don't forget how the compiler will do. The compiler, if this is fails, the compiler will not execute the second part of conditions, because there's no point to do a second part of conditions if the first is false. The second condition won't change that, and condition addition won't become true. So to this become true, the both sides must be true. So if one side and the first one is here becomes false, that's it. The second one is pointless to execute. Sorry. So what is the second one? Yes, we go for saying okay, layer tracker, and we pass the C is less than 0. So what we're doing now in this list, we're saying okay, if layer 2, I'll take another color. If layer 2 is drawn on a map, because we found somewhere a pixel, which one is assigned to layer 2, and it does have value, I don't know, maybe 0.8, a bit. It's quite good, a bit faded amount, and it does have 0.1. Okay, that's mean it's the first time we found you on terrain map. So what to do now is actually put you on here, and instead of 0 and -1, we'll give you a new number, exactly location where you are on a list. To achieve this, we say okay, this condition is met. We do layer tracker at C. It will be equal to new layer counter. Then we need to increase new layer counter for next for a next, how to say, for a next member when we founded that one. And of course we need to layers new to add it into layers alt C. That's it. So that's what we accomplished. The first time we find a layer 2 somewhere on the map with a value greater than 0 and it doesn't has assigned any layer number, what we do is we assigning new number and we adding to a new layer list. If it never was painted on that map, we won't be adding to the new list and we'll stay in -1. Sounds simple. So now we need to make a map new is equal new float. It's a new array. It's a new array. Oh, sorry. It's a new array. Which one we need to pass? We need to give a number. So to do that, because it's three-dimensional, we can't write this one dot length. We can, but because it's three-dimensional, which dimension count you want to get. I think I'm pretty much sure three-dimensional array, when you want to get the length, you'll get multiplication of three lengths together. So if you have three-dimensional floats array, which one is 3, 3, and 3, you will get 27 as a length. But let's imagine you want a second member or the third member or something between these lines. So to do that, you can actually set get length and this function where you pass the ID of the dimension. So I want to get length 0. Then I want to a map dot get length of 1. Why are we getting this as 0 and 1? So why are we reading from a map? Because this two members is a and b, or x and y. This is an alpha map and the length is the same as old list. So we not increase the resolution of alpha map or decreases the resolution of alpha map. So these two members is the same as the previous list. The different is the last member, because if you look in here, where we in the old list we have 1, 2, 3, 4 members, and here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we add layer 2 here, and we have 7. So 7 versus 4 members. So the last number we need to increase or decrease depending of how many active layers. No, sorry, depending of how many reserved layers you adding and how many layers you find is drawn on a map and must be transferred to the new. So the last number is layers new dot count. So we create a new alpha map with the same pixel size of x and y coordinations, but with a different number of layers compared with a map here, which one we just read from current on a map. Following step, we'll be looping again. I'll just copy this one. So we will loop again A, B, and C. Oh, my OCD is burning here. Okay. Instead of that, we're not looking anymore of C thing. What we'll be looking for, it's actually I think it's more simpler. So we know before C. So hold on, we loop A and B, and yeah, we don't need to loop this one. So we can say straight away that A map new. Whoa. A map new at location of A and B. So we're looping each pixel. Layer 0 is same as A map old, we can say, at the same pixel of A, B, and 0. So we're copying the first layer, we're copying directly the value of it. Second layer or third layer, and so on, we need actually to check this one. So we do a similar check, is again, if A map old one at A, B, and C is greater than 0. So we're checking again if the value is greater than 0. Then we're saying a new map at A, B, and not C. Here's the trick where we're using, because we created a layer tracker, we know that this layer C, it takes a new position with the layer tracker ID identification, and it's equal to a map A, B, C. So in this situation, layer 2, the layer 2 position is 1, 2, 3. So 0, 1, 2. So his ID in the list is 2, but with layer tracker we have integer 5. So we're saying the 5th member is equal to 2nd member in old. So that's why here we have C will be 2, but here layer tracker will return 5. And why it's 5? Because we have a new layer counter here, which one we are adding each time we added something in our list. That's how you redraw terrain. As last bit, what we need to do actually is to apply. So we're saying terrain. Oh my days. No. Terrains, yes. Terrains 0 dot terrain data dot terrain layers is equal layers new, and that will give error. This is really simple because we created a list for dynamic memory, and we keep adding some new members. Terrain layers want array, which one must do struct size, but this way. C# has really good, really cool trick in a sleeve. It's called toString. Sorry, not toString, toArray. That's how simple it is. So the list will become array, and we can actually assign it to another array. That's it. We assigned it to layers. Now we need to assign a new alpha map. Something like this. Set alpha map. That's the one. So set alpha map. We need offset, no offset, x and y 0, 0, and a map new. That is a new values in a whole alpha map with each layer's variables. Cool. I think that's it. Pretty much done. This is what I was a bit struggling. I'm pretty much sure somehow we can actually do in one for loop, but after few attempts I was failing to do in one attempt, and I was it seemed like working, but then I pull a few tests and some tricks, and because I know where it could be a bug, And even though if you try to combine them in one, and if it looks like working, but if you need to be very careful. I throw a few situations where combining two codes in one wasn't working. So what I done, I just split them in one step and another step. And again, because it's not update and it's not a one of the cycles of what's called of a game like a game frames rendering thing, it's not affecting our game performance. We'll be just using 4 tools, and maybe if everything is okay, maybe we'll use only once. It saves a lot of time, but will be used only once. I hope so, because the more you use, the more mistakes you've done, and this is fixing it. Okay, let's test it. Let's go to our dude. Okay, nice. So I changed it. I already changed it terrain into his grass. We have some hills going on from my teammate. At the moment, we're looking for a decent skybox. This is just skybox. Let's put it this way. Something decent, and then when we find some skybox, that will be dictating our mountains. That's one. It will be dictating our mountains style as well. Cool. Taking more in account our grass, which one I'm working with. Actually, it's looking pretty decent as well. Similar color. I love it. Cool. Again, if someone have questions why I'm moving so interesting in Unity, it's 3D mouse. Big advice to get one from 3D Connexion. I think it's French. Anyways, coming back. So terrain has the script, and it has 4 elements. We set it 4 layers. So we want to add 4 layers. I can press this dot and it opens all the terrain layers. So the first one is grass, and the second one I want a grass with the flowers. It will be the first member with reserved layers. Second one I want a half dirt, half grass. Yep, this one. And the third one I want just dirt. And another last one, the fourth one, I want dirt alongside with some stones. So these two will be mixing together in some ratio to actually get some places with some stones. So it will be have randomized value to actually to spawn that one. It sounds terrible for some reason. Huh. Neat. Anyways, coming back. So I have this 4 layers edit. Now let's test it to this one. So we have a layer, and we have only one layer. So let's simulate one of the situations. Size of 5. So we have a layer which someone was using ice. Then we have another layer of dirt, and one more layer of maybe gravel. Nah, maybe something nice, moss. Yeah, paving stone. Okay. So we have ice. Ice would be used on our layer. So then we have a dirt, which one won't be used in our terrain, and we have a paving stone. That's one. Which one is used as well? And now our goal, if the script works in the first go, it should. It should to after this layer, it should to insert our reserved layers, remove the dirt, and leave the 2 layers in the end of the list and assign to all these ones. Why we can't assign like this? Oh, by the way, I can show you why. So if we assigned a new layer, which one is, yeah, this half ground, this one. So we assign it, and let's say we just swap ourselves. Look what's happened in terrain. Boom. Because order is mixed, terrain alpha map remembers, it's a float. It just remembers which one layer and how much it needs to paint here. And it doesn't remember which one name it was. It's not reassigning. So when we swapping locations, let's swap this too. It just paint different. That's it. That's why we're using the script. So it will move the used layers in and add our reserved layers. Let's try that one. It's activated. And it's done. It's getting black on that how to say, when you hit the play, because it was changed. I think I'm missing something like synchronize all the changes you made for alpha map or something like this. I'm not sure exactly, but a really simple solution is just stop the game and it's updated. So now let's double check. Yes, so we have our layers inserted in the same order, which we will be interacting with. All this tutorial is about interacting, and the person is walking and it's keep changing environment by just by it walking itself. And we removed the layer which one we're not using it, and we're adding the paving stone and the ice in the end of the list. Nice. And they even not mixed together with the locations. That's brilliant. Okay, let's do one more time. So let's fix this one first and paint this one off, and we'll remove all these ones. Okay, that's removed. Now what we need to do is actually expand this code from here up to here to do for each child, for all the childs. So 4 yeah, for int child index is equal 0 as long as child index is less than terrains dot count, yeah, and child index plus plus. We create this one, we want to end up here. Boom. So now we're looping everything, but we need to insert child index in every single terrain 0. We want to actually saying no. We keep looping you. They're missing something new. Okay, layers, terrain, layers, new layers, reserve, old count, terrains, terrain, alpha C, alpha terrain, add length, terrains. Shit. Terrains. No. Terrains. I think so. Let's have a look. Terrain add, terrain index, terrain child, child. And this one is add always in front of terrains. Okay, that looks like good point to start. So let's have a look in a few of them. So remember this one? This one had a few of them. Okay, let's do somewhere here. Yeah, that's a good one. It has quite a lot of layers which one is not used, and I'm pretty much sure this, and this is only used. Okay, save, backup if you want, guys, because sometimes, you know, sometimes can crash. Sometimes it can crash, but not always. If you're interested in how long it's taking, it takes quite a lot. Two things. I have Intel Core i5 zero generation 760. This is the first i5 released by Intel back to 2010. So today's date is 1st of October 2020. So my CPU is 10 years old. I have 16 gigabyte of RAM, and I have actually 980. Oh, it works. I have 980 Ti. Cool. Let's have a look what's happened. Index out of range. Okay, we have some issues somewhere. Which one number was out of? Okay, layer tracker is new integer of layers old. Oh, okay, I get it. The problem is that layer old, we never clear the lists. So in the end of the loop, we need to clear them. So layers new is equal to new list. So you know what, we don't rely on garbage collector. We can actually remove all. And come on, is it not remove? I think it's remove. What we have? Delete? No, clear, that's one. Okay, and layers old as well, clear. So we need to clear the lists. And do we have any lists more? So we have a list, we have terrains list we're creating here, and we keep adding them. Okay, we have reserved array, which one? Okay, we have layer tracker. Okay, what if this one is coming out is equal plus 1? Okay, that's nice. And layer tracker is new int, so we keep actually creating new list. Okay, it should work now. So yeah, quite old PC. Still working. I don't know why I'm not updating. It's, by the way, 2020 October is the time where I will be updating, and its new graphic cards just came out. Free NVIDIA 3080, 3070. There's two graphic cards which I'm looking for. And AMD is announcing new CPUs. I think it's Gen 5, I think they're calling 5000 something. So it's really great time to upgrade my computer. And don't forget, it's rumors coming around that some leaks coming around that DDR5 RAM is coming out as well. So if I will be holding with this computer till that, it will be great. Okay, cool. Yeah. So let's unpause the game and let's have a look what we have. So yeah, we have our 4 lists, our 4 layers added, and we have only 2 layers actually in that road. Interesting enough. Yeah, well, we don't need to scrolling. And if we go with this one, back to layers, yeah, again we have only 2 of them. And this one. Okay, this is what we have somewhere else. Not somewhere else. This is, how to say, somewhere 1 pixel is left, and our script found that 1 pixel. Okay, you are on our map. So what you can do, actually manually just remove it, and it's giving me that the splat map data will be lost. So in another case, then we deleting the splat map of that location where it's drawn, it will become base. Boom. And that's it. Yeah, I think I'll double check later with all. Oh, we have a dirt here. We have quite a lot painted over there. So yeah, oh, sorry. So a few more of them. Which one is requiring, like this one? It does has a lot because it's actually the mountain painting is coming. You see this corner? Yeah, this corner someone was painting. Not someone. Some team members was painting, and it's because it was driven in this alpha map. It was founded and it was kept as one of the, like how to say. It's kept as one of the layers which one is needed to leave it. So what I will do is actually just simple to do this one. Oh, sorry, 5. So what do we do? Just simple. Get out of my land. Yeah, just get out of my land. And I can actually run script only for this. Cool stuff. Any questions? Leave in a comment. I hope so. I'll explain myself well. If you still have some questions, open for any conversations. I can actually record something specific or in more depth a certain area if you haven't understand that. If you haven't understand this additional integer, like a list using for indication, I hope so. I'll explain myself well. Repeating myself. I'm a bit tired. I have a long day. I'm still working full time, and when I'm going home, I'm trying to record some cool ideas, guys, for you. So see you soon. And